In today's video, we're going to be focusing on the hips, opening the hips, moving the hips, making sure all of the fluids are passing through the tissues. We want to make sure that we have enough mobility in this area. This is the base of your body. So we're going to be starting on the back. Lay down on the back and take time to settle. Take time to breathe. Just for a moment, close your eyes. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Find your stillness on the mat. Ground yourself. Take some time to arrive. As you inhale, expand in the tummy and exhale through the mouth. Big inhale. And exhale. Stay here for a little bit longer, focusing on the breath and the tensions in your body. Slowly start to move your knees from one side to the other without dropping too far down. Being aware of the tensions or restriction in the body. Tuck your tummy in to support the twist. Palm of your hands facing up. So that we're not engaging through the hands or through the back or the shoulders. Making sure we are focusing the movement in the lumbar spine and the hips area. Inhale to drop the knees and exhale to bring it back to the center. Taking your time to move through. And if in this process you feel slight crack, not to worry. This is just the oxygen between the vertebrae that is being released. One more time on each side. Coming back to the center. Bring the feet close to your buttock. Your fingers should be able to touch the heels. Now relaxing the shoulders, palm of your hands facing down, spreading the toes wide on the mat. Tilt in the hips to bring the abs together, bringing the hips upwards to the ribs cage, and lift your hips off the mat and the back as well. Your shin in a little to lengthen through the neck. Sending your hips upward towards the ceiling to open up through the hip flexors. And slowly coming back down. Control your movement. Tilt your hips back. And we did that a few more times. Exhaling as we go up. And as you inhale, make your way back down. So we are following the breath movements, the breath timing. Exhale to go up, squeezing through the glutes, engaging in the back of your legs, the glutes area, and slowly making your way back down. Curve in the back, and coming back up. Pushing in the heels, in the toes. One more time, and this time we're going to step upward. So lifting your hips off the mat, pushing in your heels, and hold your half bridge position. Activate your back muscles, pushing in your heels to squeeze in the glutes and opening up the front of your hips. Bring your arms up. Your arms parallel and fingers towards the ceiling. Rounding your shoulders in the mat. Make your way back down just with your arms. Keep your hips high. Now push for your right leg and lift your left leg off the mat, bringing your knee above your hip. And slowly come back down. Pushing in the mat, landing your left foot on the floor and your right leg comes up. Your calf parallel to the floor. Coming back down. Big inhale, lift your hips a little bit higher as you engage through the glutes. And as you exhale, make your way back down. Vertebra by vertebra, your hips last. Now bring your knees in towards the chest and rock your knees side to side, feeling the stretch in the lumbar spine. In and out through the nose. Relax in your feet. Come back to your center, to the stillness. Tilt the hips towards the ground. Engaging through the tummy so that the hips stay stable. Lift one leg towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, lift the second leg. Trying to bring that length through the legs. You want to keep your tailbone on the floor. If you feel that your hips are coming off, then bring your leg a little bit back. Now, bring your toes in towards the chest, keeping your heels together. In this exercise, you're feeling a great stretch at the back of your legs. If this is too much for your hip flexor and you feel a lot of tension in this area, hold your leg with your hands and slightly separate your legs to make this stretching available to you. You are pushing the ceiling with the sole of your feet, heels towards the sky, the ceiling, and the toes in towards yourself. Big inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. Come back to your Ujjayi breath, in and out through the nose. Bend in your knees. Catch the inner part of your thigh and catch the knees while you're dropping your knees on each side. And if that feels nice, then move your legs a little. Feeling the stretch in your adductors, the inner part of your thighs. Slowly bring your knees back together. Hold the back of your knees. Bring the knees in towards the chest, and as you exhale, roll back up, trying to hold your position. And then roll back again. Have some playful time here. Sending your knees backwards, keeping a C shape in the spine as we round the back. So the landing is easier. One more time. And come into your seated pose. You are in your seated pose. I'm going to be facing the camera so you can see me a bit better. Bend in the knees. Land them through the spine and tuck your tummy in. Hold onto your knees. Big inhale, lift your chest. And as you exhale, round your back. C shape in the spine, your shin towards the chest. Making your way back up, inhale. Exhale to round. One more time, inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Coming back to your up straight position. Drop your right knee on the floor and your left leg back. Trying not to touch the floor with your hands and finding that mobility in the hips. Then bring your leg back and swap to the other side. As you sit, you send your hips forward, feeling that stretch at the front of the hips. Coming back to the center, and you change. As you send your leg back, feel that squeeze in your mid-glutes muscles on the side of the glutes. Coming back to the center. And again, if that is too challenging for very tight hips, then feel free to hold your leg to bring it back to the center. If you have more mobility through the hips, feel free to then move both legs at the same time. See what is available for you today. So you have 3 different variations that you can use depending on the stiffness of the hips. Trying not to rush your movement and really observing the sensation in the hips. One more time on each side. As you here, remain on your left leg. So your left leg at the front. Flex in your foot. Send your right leg back. And turn your shoulders facing your front leg. Big inhale through the nose. And that can be quite challenging for some people. So depending on where you are at in your practice and how you're feeling today, you can stay here in that position, keeping your back leg active so that you send your hips forward, squeeze through the glutes. But if you have more space, then you can drop your forearms to the floor. Still sending your right leg back, lengthening through the back, and tuck your tummy in. Stay here for a few breaths. One more breath, Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose. Push yourself back up, coming back into your seated pose. Bring your right leg towards the front of the mat. Bring your left leg in and your right leg on the floor. So that's your first variation. If you have more space, you can bring your leg a little bit higher, trying to keep your both knees parallel to the floor. Holding into your position, lengthening through the spine, leave the space in the lower back. Big inhale to lift your chest. Exhale through the mouth. Come back to your Ujjayi breath. If you notice that your knee is coming off and you struggle to keep it low, that's absolutely fine. Just take your leg a little bit lower on the floor or even on the calf, sometimes that's enough. So see what is there for you guys. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale, rise your arm up. And as you exhale, twist on your right hand side, catching your right knee, so your top leg. Twisting in the back. In and out through the nose. Allowing the space in the hips and in the lower back. Make your way back to the center, big inhale. And as you exhale, lean forward. So sending your hips forward as you lift through the spine. So making the space in your vertebra before you hinge at the hips joint. That way you allow more space in the sacrum, in the lumbar spine. And relax your hands, your palm of hands facing up. Leaning forward and feeling a stretch, a deeper stretch in the rotator of the hips. So you will feel that on each side of your hips as well as in your lower back. Stay here to breathe. In through the nose and exhale through the nose. Push yourself back up. Slowly release your right leg. Now send your left leg back. Your right leg stay at the front. Inhale, lift through the chest, send your leg backward, engaging through the glutes so that you push the hips forward. And try to keep it nice and straight back. Tuck in your tummy, keeping the shoulders away from your ears. And focus on the breath. If you feel that you have enough space to move, lean forward towards your front leg. Remember to keep your front foot flexed to protect the knee joint. Relax your forehead, your forearms on the floor, palm of your hands facing up. In and out through the nose. See how it feels in the body. Relax in the jaw, in the shoulders. Push yourself back up. Bring your left leg back towards the front of the mat and lay your leg on the floor, on your calf or on your thigh if you've got the space and mobility in your hips. If that's too much for today, feel free to drop your leg a little. Use the variations so that you have an efficient stretch in the body and your body is not in pain or in discomfort, whereas it will completely create the opposite and tense up and not stretch. Hold on to your knees, take a big inhale through the nose, out through the mouth, back to your Ujjayi breath, in and out through the nose. Lower the shoulders to align with the hips. The space in between each vertebra. The space in the hips. Now inhale, reach height with your hands. And as you exhale, twist on your left hand side, catching your knee, twisting, pushing on your knee to twist. Allow the twist in the back. Your left hand comes behind you to support your position. Keep breathing through the nose. And one more breath. Make your way back to the center. Allow some time to realign in the spine. Close your eyes for a moment. Big inhale. Exhale. Slowly make your way to your tabletop. So in any way that feels comfortable for yourself, come onto the mat, hands under your shoulders and your knees under the hips. Tuck your tummy in. Now lift your left leg up, squeezing in the glutes, pointing your toes towards the back of the room. Stay soft in your arms without locking your elbows and trying to keep your body weight in the center instead of completely shifting on your right side. Press down through the hands. Now bend at your knee and send your toes in towards the ceiling. And give some pulse movement here. Lifting through the leg, squeezing in the glutes, activating the posterior chain of the body. In and out. Keep your leg high, your knee off the mat, lifting through the chest. Now stretch your leg, pointing the back of the room with your toes. Inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest, round the back. Inhale to stretch your leg. Open the front of the body as you push in your hands. Exhale, bring your knee towards the chest. Inhale, lift your leg. Open through the shoulders. Lift your gaze. Exhale to round. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Bring your leg back to the mat. Your toes together, open your knees, come to your child pose. Sending your hips back, pushing in your hands, activating the upper back, sending your hips in towards the heels. In and out through the nose. Push yourself back up, coming back to your all fours, your tabletop. In through the nose, find your stillness. Exhale through the nose. Now inhale, lift your right leg up. Your toes towards the back of the room, engaging through your glutes. Remember not to shift your body weight to one side, but keep your body weight in the center. Tilt in the hips to engage through the core. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Bend in your knees, send your toes towards the ceiling and allow some pulse here, activating your glutes muscle. Trying to keep your knee aligned with the hip joint. Squeezing in the glutes. Finding the space at the front of your hips. Stay up, lifting your knee high, pushing in your hands, opening the front of the body. Keep your hips parallel to the floor. Now stretch your leg again, your toes towards the back of the room, reaching as far back as you can. Big inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, bring your knee in towards the chest. Inhale to send your leg back. Exhale your knee to the chest. Again, big inhale to rise. Exhale your knee to the chest. One more time, inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to the chest. Drop your knee back down into your tabletop position. Tuck the toes into the mat. Move your body backward and forward. Sending your body weight between your knees, toes, and your wrist. One more time. Come back to your tabletop. In through the nose. And as you exhale, downward facing dog, sending your hips high. Keep your knees bent. And try to reach the floor with the heels. If that's too much for the hamstrings, keep a slight bend in the knee and your heels off the mat. Now take your walking down facing dog, dropping one heel after the other, lengthening the back of the legs, sending your tailbone towards the ceiling, and pushing through the palm of your hands and fingers. Find your stillness. Observe how it feels in the hips and in the legs. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Bend in your knees, coming back down. Lift, coming to your kneeling position. Send your left leg forward. So, in our first approach, we're going to keep the back knee in towards the floor. Tuck the toes. If this is too much for your knee, double up your mat to have more support underneath the joint. Now, 90 degrees in your both legs. And the idea is to tilt in the hips, squeezing in the glutes to send your tailbone forwards. So feel that movement through the quads, through the hip flexors. The movement is quite tiny. The hips forward, squeezing in the glutes. Imagine you trying to reach the top of the mat with your back leg, but you cannot move your knee, you cannot move your foot. What is left for you to send your hips forward? One more breath. And let go. Send your body weight forward. Staying in your low warrior, lifting through the chest. So compared to the previous position, you will send your body weight forward and you are not on the knee joint anymore, but you are on the termination of your quads. So it's less uncomfortable for the knee joint. Pushing through your front leg, lifting through the chest. Stay grounded in the mat with your foot, your front foot. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Your right arm all the way up. Inhale. And as you exhale, reach towards the left side of the room. Hold on to your front leg. Opening the side of the body, increasing the stretch through the hips flexors. Slowly release. Come back to your neutral spine position. Lean forward. Open your front leg a little bit more on the side. Your toes and your knees on the outside edge of your mat. And simply stay still in your half lizard pose. Let go of the tensions in the hips. Focus on the sensations. And perhaps focus on the breath if that gets really tight. If you have enough space to move in your body, start dropping your right forearm on the floor as a second variation of this pose. And if you have even more space, you can drop your left forearm. So both forearms on the floor. In and out through the nose. Slowly push yourself back up. Bring your left knee back to the center. Pushing through your front leg. Inhale. And as you exhale, lean forward again and send your leg backward. You can help yourself with your hand, so it's not too stressful for the hip joint. In through the nose. And out, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Opening in the shoulders, sending the tailbone towards the ceiling. Rotate your thigh slightly inward. Come back down. Kneeling position, pushing yourself back up. Take a moment here. Tuck the toes, engage through your glutes. Inhale. Exhale. Now send your right leg forward. Again, coming to your 90 degrees. Coming into your 90 degrees position in both legs. Tuck the toes of your back leg. Send your hips forward. Squeeze in the glutes. Trying to reach forward with the thigh, but only the hips can move. So from backward here, we squeeze in the glutes, squeeze in the abs to bring the hips forward. You might feel a great stretch through the hips flexors, top part of your thigh, but if you're very tight in your thighs, you will feel it all the way down to the thighs. Again, double up your mat if this is too much for your hip, for your knee joint. So that offers a bit more support to the knee. One more breath. Slowly release. Release your back foot and send your hips forward. So your body weight shift to your front leg, allowing the space in front of your hips, in your thigh, lifting in the shoulders, sending your tummy, your belly button towards the spine. In and out through the nose. Keep your chin in a little to lengthen through the back of the neck. Inhale your left arm all the way up, reaching high towards the sky. And incline on the side. So make sure that you're lifting through your lumbar spine first, creating the space, lifting up as high as you can to then incline on the right side, trying to reach the opposite side of the room while you hold your pose with your right forearm on your right thigh. In and out. Spacing up in the ribs. Make your way back to the center. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, let go in the hips. Now lean forward. Open your right knee and your right toes to the sideline of the mat, allowing more space in the hips. Engaging a bit more, stretching more through the rotator of the hips. Both hands inside of your leg. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Be gentle as you move through in this position. It's quite intense for the hips, for the legs, adductors. If that's enough for you to stay here, then you stay. If you have more space and you feel okay to go a bit further today, drop your left forearm on the floor while you keep your right hand pushing down to stabilize your lizard pose. Inhale and exhale. And if you've got more space, allow yourself to go deeper and drop your right forearm on the floor. That's okay if you're not there. We've got different days, different bodies, different stiffness, tensions. Allow your body to go where it needs to go. Without forcing, without pushing, without creating tensions in the body. Focus on the breath. One more breath. Push yourself back up, pressing down through the ground. Allow the knee and the foot to come back aligned with your hip. And then send it back, taking time to move. Back to your all fours position, big inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth and round the back. Back to your tabletop, inhale. Next exhalation, tuck the toes back to your downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Bend in the knees, look between your hands, and take a walk towards the top of your mat. Place your hands on your shin if you are not touching the ground, and that's okay to keep a bend in your knees. What you want to make sure is to have a fairly flat back in your lumbar spine, so readjust your position as you lift your chest, inhale, and then exhale to fold. Let go of your head towards the floor. Stay where you are. I'm just gonna change direction so that you guys can see me a bit better. Inhale. Exhale. Now open your feet a little bit wider. Toes on the outside, heels on the inside, and drop your hips down. Coming to your Sumo Squats. So, if your heels are coming off, you can try to roll the mat and place your heel on the mat to allow the Achilles tendon to gain more length as you bring the floor up. If this is impossible for you, then rock from one side to another, allowing the space and the stretch in your Achilles tendon, in your calf muscles. If you are comfortable in your squat, sumo squat, then stay here and place your elbows on the inner part of your legs, allowing the stretch. Pressing your palm of hands together, lengthening through the spine and reaching height with the crown of your head. Inhale and exhale. Slowly drop your hands back down. Send your body weight, shift your body weight in your hands, lifting height and dropping your heels back to the ground. If you had your mat doubled up, then you can keep it there or unfold your mat. Coming to your full forward pose. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, make your way back up, rolling up, vertebra by vertebra. Coming to your Tadasana. Close your eyes for a moment, bring your feet a bit closer to each other. Allow the space in the ribs, expand in the ribs and in your tummy. Place your hands on your center. Inhale deeply through the nose. Out through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Exhale. Come back in your mountain pose. Ground yourself in the mat. Take a moment to observe the body. Catching back your breath. Big inhale, rise your arms above your head. And exhale. Drop your hands to your heart center. Bow your head to your hands. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining this practice today. If you have any comments or if you have suggestions or questions, feel free to drop me a line in this video commentaire, in the comment section of this video. Thank you.